on this channel. I didn't realise you could go live without 1,000 subs on your channel, and I am sure I will get 1,000 subs and move this channel forward in this current season, because let's face it, this is the best team Arteta has. I'm just going to quickly run through. Arteta's coming for a lot of flack, right, off Arsenal fans, a lot of Arsenal fans. A lot of Arsenal fans are my age, like Lee Gunner. I think I'm a year older than him, or roughly the same age. Sorry. Yeah, turn that off so we've got no interruptions. So, yeah, I've actually been supporting Arsenal longer than Lee, so I would say I'm pretty qualified in talking about Arsenal. As you can see, I haven't bought an Arsenal shirt for quite some time. This is the first bit of Arsenal merch I bought in over a decade, because of the decline of the club. Wenger, I wanted him out. Emery wasn't much of an improvement. Best thing Emery's done was sign William Saliba. We'll get on to him in a bit. But this is all about predictions, the big six, top six, big six, where they're going to finish, who's going to win the league, who's going to win the battle out of the North London teams, who's going to have the biggest fall off, who's going to have the most improvement out of the top six. I mean, for me, it's an easy answer. The biggest improvement has surely got to be from Manchester United. You can't get well, you can get worse, but I don't think they will. I was watching Football Terrace a minute ago, and they were saying there's not a lot in it between the Arsenal and United squads. Well, I think there is. There is. That's an argument for another day, maybe. But once you see Arsenal getting a winning streak, get going, I just don't think Manchester United have the squad. Arsenal don't have the perfect squad by no means. Got a lot of deadwoods in our team, but I do believe we have a much stronger 15, 16, even 17 players than them. I saw a little bit of Lautaro Martinez, looks very good, very tenacious, the butcher, as they call him, very technical, but he's got number 6 on it. He's got number 6 on his back, so that's like a holding midfield role. But they're still hanging out for De Jong, who I actually think Man U might get De Jong. I know Chelsea are sniffing around him, but I think even though Chelsea have Champions League football to offer, De Jong, Man U don't this season, and might not next season, I still think De Jong would choose United. They're a bigger club than Chelsea, more successful, maybe not over recent history, but as English football goes, they are the most successful club in England, along with Liverpool. Then Arsenal, without the European Cups, sadly. We only need one European Cup. Only one, he says. So, I don't really want to go inside. It's such a lovely evening out here. Hang on a minute. 2 seconds. So I have permission to film in the garden. This is not actually my garden. It's my parents, my mother's. We have some rather rowdy neighbours up there, and got a Manchester United support up there. I got a bit rowdy with me last time I was on there. But so where do we start? I suppose we start with. Let's start with the best signings of the summer. Who's brought in the best? Who's lost some of their best players? I think it's easy to start. It's Manchester City. Now, they've sold Gabriel Jesus, a player who, I think this is a good way of putting Jesus down. Oh, he only scored 14 and top calendar goal scorer. But this is him playing out wide right, wide left. Never being the actual focal point like Haaland or maybe an Alvarez will be. By the way, I think Julian Alvarez, what a talent he is. From what I saw, I only saw a little bit of him in the Community Shield. But if Haaland doesn't produce this season, in his first season, Alvarez will. He looks like maybe a Gabby Jesus replacement. I don't know. You know what Pep's like. He'll probably play him out of position, all sorts of positions. But Alvarez for me will play in probably all sorts of positions, and he looks suited to it. He looks perfect. I'm never worried for City. I'm not worried for City because they win the league every season. But I'm a little bit concerned for them opening the door up for teams like Spurs, who done a double over them last season, got a draw at Anfield. And if Liverpool aren't firing all cylinders, it really does open the league up, doesn't it? My tips for the title are Liverpool. I say that with banging, bro. I really, it's a tough one to call. These two have been so far ahead of the rest of us for 2 or 3, 4 years now. It's hard to see anyone catching them up, but I actually think Arsenal have caught them up, whether they like it or not, and I think we'll prove that this season. Spurs have caught them up, and if you look at Arsenal's transfer window, right, compared to Tottenham's, now you'd think Arsenal were the Champions League team. With the players they've attracted, Zinchenko, Gabby Jesus, yeah, all right, Richarlison, he played for Everton, mate. Yeah, he had to perform, maybe play harder. In fact, no, because he played as a number 9, as a main striker for Everton. I just think Jesus is a better all-round football player. His link-up play is much better than Richarlison's, and I can see him bagging more goals. Now, pre-season, in my experience of pre-season, you can have the best pre-season ever, and then comes the opening day or opening night. It is for us against Crystal Palace this Friday. Bloody hell, it's only like 4 days away. Am I nervous? Yes, but in a good way. Palace have not had a good pre-season. I think Zaha scored the other day. They're ready for us. Believe it or not, they will be ready for us. They will want to get Sellers Pass rocking. And a win over Arsenal will, you know, especially with all the hype around Arsenal and their signings, would 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 satisfy their ultras and masses massively, and say, look at all the hype around Arsenal. It's nothing when it comes down to the crunch. Your bottle jobs. This is where I think Arsenal have changed. Now, Zinchenko, people are playing down his signing. I think he's an absolutely 9 out of 10 signing. Jesus, 9 out of 10. If he bangs in goals, he's a 10 out of 10. But Zinchenko is a 9 out of 10 signing. Because if Tierney's fit, he can play with Tierney on that left-hand side. He can also play in midfield. And if anyone who has not seen Alexander Zinchenko play midfield, he can split a defence with one pass. He's not the fastest, but neither's Granit Xhaka, is he? But Xhaka's been playing pretty well, so I think Xhaka will start. But when Tierney's fit, there might be a problem there. But it's a good problem. And I always wondered how he's going to fit Ben White in with Saliba and Gabriel. Now, it's still a tough one for me. Not the fact I think Saliba is our head and shoulders our best centre back. I watched a game against Chelsea and a few of the other pre-season games. I don't know if it's rustiness from Gabriel Magalhaes, a big Brazilian centre back, but he made Gabriel look not ordinary, but a little bit I don't know what the word is. Nervous on the ball. You know, just he's probably looking at Saliba thinking, wow, who's this guy? You know what I mean? They call him in France, they call him the Mbappe of centre backs because of his pace. He's the sort of guy you look at. He's massive. He's 6'4", I believe now. He was 6'3". I said he's still growing. He's just turned 21, not long too back. So he's sort of coming to the end of his growing period as a man. From a boy to he's definitely a man now. So I don't think he's going to get too much taller. I don't want him to. I think 6'4" is perfect for a centre back. Wow. What is deceptive about Saliba, and this will catch a lot of Premier League teams out, is his pace. He is blisteringly fast. Blistering. Like Son Heung-min, like in the North London derby, like if it's a one-on-one, Son running, so it's just Saliba versus Son. And, you know, he'd probably leave Tommy Asu for dead. He'd probably leave Ben White for dead. Gabriel for dead. But he will not leave William Saliba for dead, mate. This guy can keep up with that. With the quickest, the fastest, the most physical centre forwards in the Premier League. Virgil van Dijk, this is a prediction from me. Virgil van Dijk's 31. He's 10 years his junior, Saliba is. And I think when Van Dijk hangs his boots up in 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, depending on his injuries, I think if Saliba is still at Arsenal, which I hope so, As long as the club are matching his ambitions, and with the amount of money the Cronkies have spent, I think we are matching his ambitions. That's what I'm going to get onto in a bit, because I think Arsenal will sign at least one, hopefully two, maybe even three players before the window shuts. Yeah, it's not perfect them coming in August, but I'd rather they come in, because we need certain profile of player to just polish this team off for the season, right? Defensive, like I was saying with White, where's he going to fit in? Costs us 50 million quid. He played an inverted right back. Zinchenko inverted left back, right? So, but what happens to Tommy Asu when he's fit? Ben White drop to the bench. I think he has to. Or could Ben White sit in front of the defence as a sweeper? Just clearing up stuff. More or less as a DM. Like, but that's what we've got Partey for. I did, when we signed him, they said he can play DM. So maybe they will start working with White on being a defensive midfielder. And of course, if we get any injuries to Saliba or White, uh, to Gabriel, I don't want to be Holding coming in. I want to see White. I would like to see White partner Saliba or Gabriel. It's nice riches to have at the back. I'm concerned Fulham have got an absolute bargain in Burton. 8 million. 8 million. Do you know what? I think Robbie said it on AFTV earlier. I think we did Leno a favour for services to the club. Anyone else, I really don't think we'll let him go that cheap, because he's a £15 million goalkeeper easily. And if it wasn't a World Cup year, he wouldn't have we wouldn't have sold him to Fulham. Matt Turner for me is not Premier League quality. And unless there's a catastrophic injury to Aaron Ramsdale, or he gets sent off. If he gets sent off in the game, fair enough. But if Ramsdale was out for a couple of months, I'd be worried. I really would be. I just don't think Turner's up to that. That's just my opinion. From what I've seen in pre-season, I know it's pre-season, but it's goalkeepers. It's not outfield players. They're not running their socks off, are they? Anyway, all in all, our defence looks very, very good this season. It looks strong, looks sturdy. And I think we're going to be very tough to break down. And yeah, I think we're going to be very tough to break down. And now, midfield, people have been calling for Xhaka's head for years now, ever since he did what he did. That famous incident at the Emirates where he got sent off, ripped the shirt off, ripped the armband off, and stuck the fingers up at the fans. Now, what club would take him back? Arsenal. Hey, you know what? He has turned. Fair play to Granit Xhaka. He has turned it round. I'll tell you what. I think he's playing the best football since he's arrived at Arsenal recently. He's 29. He's in the peak years of his career, and I think there's not much point in selling him now. We might as well keep him till maybe a year left on his contract. I think he's signed a 4-year deal last year. So we've got another 2 years out of him before then we can think about shifting him on. But I honestly think Xhaka's going to be an important player this year for us, squad-wise, first team-wise. Because he's got real competition now for that spot from Alexander Zinchenko. He knows if he drops a stinker, if he costs the team by getting sent off, he's going to be punished. Now, transfers. Who else do we need in? I've talked about defence. Guys to see Leno go, but good luck to him at Fulham. We got them early on, so Leno, don't be on you. Don't have a point to prove. Yeah. I don't think it matters, mate. I can't see Fulham getting a result at the Emirates, but you never know. Football's just a funny old game, as Jimmy Greaves used to say. But it is a funny old game. You've got Leicester at home. I'm not sure we've got to wait. I only see the home games on my Red membership. But I might go up to the Fulham game. Not the Leicester game, the Fulham game. Players who I want to see come in, and I think are realistic. Now, Cody Gakpo. We've been after a left winger all season. Leroy Sané, Rafinha. Rafinha was the main one. Then it was Sané. But for me, Gakpo could be better than both of them. Maybe not the finished article as in Rafinha or Sané as such. But what Gakpo offers is a player who can play on left wing. He's left-footed. He can play on the right wing. He can cut in like Saka. And if God forbid anything happens to Jesus, he can play up front. He can play as centre forward. And I think, all that pressure on Eddie and Nketiah, if Jesus was out, say, for 3 months or something, we would, a lot of pressure would be on Nketiah. And I just think it would be too much. And it could be our season. That could be Arsenal's season blown. But if we had a Cody Gakpo, I think the starting price started at 22.5 million. They have 2 Champions League qualifiers in August, so we will not sign him before them games. They want him for them games. Now, if they do qualify for the Champions League, which is a possible, I don't know who they've got, he might want to stay there for the season. But he also might see the opportunity in signing for an English juggernaut, an Arsenal Premier League, where a lot of his fellow Dutchmen have followed, and there's a famous Dutchman outside the Emirates every time you go there, Dennis Bergkamp. So, we've got a tradition of great Dutch players. Marco van Mars, Roadrunner. You youngsters might be a bit too young to remember Marco van Mars. What a footballer he was. And Dennis, of course. Dennis was Dennis. I mean, if you never had the pleasure of watching Dennis, You poor things. Anyway, I think Gakpo's perfect. Imagine I know Martinelli. This could be Martinelli's big season as well, but I think him and Gakpo can, especially with the 5 subs rule. You know, you start with Martinelli, you play him for an hour, and then you bang on 2 or 3 full subs. And Gakpo's one of them, fresh. Of course, he's got to acclimatise to the English game, but for me, he looks of. I've looked at his statistics. He has scored a lot of goals, a lot of assists in such a short period of time. I just think he's class. And I think if we don't snap him up, someone else will. They're saying now 35 million is the asking price. Maybe they're looking for an Ajax Martinez bidding war. Apparently Arsenal are the only team interested in him at the moment. So we know Chelsea love their wingers, but how many more wingers can you have at a football club? Anyway, so Gakpo for me is a priority in defence because he covers 3 positions, both wings, and he can play as a centre forward. You know, he can play with Nketiah, and of course he can play with Jesus. I could just see him linking up with Jesus. You know, ferocious pace, skillful, and he's got a brilliant eye for a goal. And I just think it'd be a revelation in the Premier League. And if we get him for around 35 or 40 million, that will be a snip, mate. By the time he's finished at Arsenal, that'll be a snip. I want to see a sign. We say we need goal scoring midfielders now. I think Fabio Vieira's a goal scoring midfielder. They've likened him to a young Bernardo Silva. Well, that's high praising. But who knows? He could be Silva-esque. You know, I think what Arsenal will end up doing it in some games. I think Arsenal are gonna surprise teams this season. They're gonna chop and change whoever their opposition is. They're gonna chop and change. So some games you'll see the normal looking Arsenal or this new inverted centre fullback looking Arsenal. My charger's done, I'm going to have to go and charge that. Or you will see Arsenal flood the midfield with offensive players like Vieira, Odegaard, and the Daily Euro. Sorry, it's a bit dark in there, guys. It's just the Daily Tielemans. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It really is ridiculous. The amount of every day we see another link. I don't know what else I'm waiting. If we are gonna, I said this weeks ago. If Arsenal were going to sign Tillemans, they would have took him to America and integrate. I'm not sure whether Arteta fancies him. Arsenal a year and a half ago, they'd have snapped him up. But, I still think he'd be a great player to have in the squad, especially with the 5 substitutions. You've got to remember this. He's a quality player. And what I want to see from Arsenal, what you see at Liverpool, not so much, because they've got youth academy players coming through, which will be the Arsenal model. City, they've got academy players like Philly Foden and others, but they're more bought-in world-class players. But I want to see 24 players, or 22 players of absolute quality. Absolute quality. Maybe 25. So if a player's out injured, or 2-3 players out injured, we can then just replace them with absolute quality. And then the rest, we bring in our academy players. We've got some really, really promising young talent. Once again, you know, Maitland-Niles, he's got to go. Reece Nelson, got to go. Pablo Mari, got to go. Manuel bloody Neuer. Bernd Leno, gone. Who else? Hecky Becky, Hector Bellerin, he's got to go. Who else? I went through this list earlier. Florent Balogun, I said he even needs to be maybe our 3rd choice striker, but we've sent him out on loan, and now if that doesn't send a message that we're bringing in an offensive player, I don't know what does. I think Arsenal will, according to Dean Jones, very, very credible journalist, see him on Football Terrace quite often, he said Arsenal are in for Gakpo big time, and they're the only ones that are in for him. So at this moment in time, that could change, of course, but Arsenal made no official bid for Gakpo, but we'll see what happens. I just hope PSV don't qualify for the Champions League and they get Europa League like us. Come on, even if they get in the Champions League, I'm not sure Gakpo will stay. He might do. If he does, it's a bigger market for him to show his talents, isn't it? So, yeah, it could change things dramatically if Gakpo is sold. It plays in the Champions League, and PSV have a decent run. Whether Arsenal can try and prize him away before these games, I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure. We need cover for Thomas Partey. Forget Yuri Tillemans, forget goal scoring midfielders. We need a midfield enforcer. And not just as a backup to Partey, but someone who can give Partey a rest now and then. In the prem, in all comps. There are players out there. I'll be shopping in France. Arsenal have been looking at the new Verratti. Now, a lot of teams want this young lad. I can't remember his name now. He's valued at £900,000, but his team, I can't remember who he plays for now either. I'm sorry. But they want 17 million for him. Euros, I think. So it's about 40 million quid. But he comes very highly recommended. He's the sort of player. But personally, I'd like someone with a bit more experience. Not prem proven. I mean, there's some beasts in France, Germany, Spain that we could sign. Is a funny one for you. Camera. Moved from Wolves to Barcelona. Adama Traore, I don't know how to call him. Camera. 10 million quid. 10 billion. Again, with the 5 sub rule, who wants Adama Traore running at you in the last 10 to 15 minutes? He's not the greatest finisher, but he can assist. And with the right training, with Arteta, and I'm sure he could. I'd say, look, we're not looking for goals. Goals are a bonus. But just assist. Get, charge down that right or that left, and cross it in. I mean, I'd sign him and Gakpo. If we get Gakpo for a decent price, I'd go for Adama Traore as well for 10 million. I mean, come on. Apparently, Ziyech from Chelsea's going for 10 mil. I mean, I think Man U fans were saying, he's worth a punt because, I mean, it's 10 million quid. It's nothing to Premier League teams. It's a drop in the ocean. So finally, I get to my prediction time. I said Liverpool, didn't I? I'm starting to regret that now. It's a tough one to call. I think Liverpool will prioritise everything over the league this season. They will prioritise the Champions League, FA Cup and Carabao Cup over winning the league. They want that Premier League crown. Klopp wants it. Fans want it. When Man City would swap probably two or three of their Premier Leagues for one Champions League, if they're seriously honest. They're about 3, but 2 at least. Now this is where it gets really difficult. I think they'd be the top 2. I did say Liverpool. I'm not sure what order. It just depends how Haaland and Alvarez bang. I think Alvarez will, but will Haaland, and I don't know. I just think Liverpool have more experience, and I just think Liverpool got a bit between their teeth in the league this season, or will have this season. And I think Klopp will get his second Premier League crown. Only just so. Who's coming second? Who's coming third, fourth, fifth, and sixth? I think it's a straight shootout between Arsenal and Tottenham for third and fourth. And yes, that means Chelsea fall now. Now, there's no doubt Chelsea they're leaving it late, but they will go out and sign a couple more players. They've got to. If they don't, I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Tuchel walks, mate. If he doesn't walk, he'll be made to walk. He'll be sacked. Yeah. Um, it's a tough one because the transfer window hasn't shut, but I'll just stick my neck on the line. I'm going to go for an Arsenal third. I am. I just think I think it'd be really close to Tottenham. I think Arsenal and Tottenham will be more or less level pegging right at the end, and again, probably the derbies will we got to go to their gaff again, but maybe we can do something special at Tottenham this season and actually win that, or at least get a result. Yeah, I'm backing me boys, man. So Arsenal fish third. Bias, say what you want. I'm going Arsenal third. Tottenham fourth. Chelsea fifth. Manchester United sixth. But I do think Chelsea will struggle to finish fifth. No, I'm going to change that. I'm going to say Man U fifth. Chelsea sixth. Chelsea probably bloody win the league now. I just think Chelsea are in a mess. They're in a, I can't believe Raheem Sterling's joined them. And if they don't bring in any more players, I bet he is regretting that move. Anyway, first manager to be sacked this season. There's only one candidate for me, and that is, well, there's two. It's Thomas Tuchel, big profile manager, and there's Steven Gerrard at Villa. If he does not pull his socks up, they spent a lot of money at Villa, very rich owners, a lot of money at Villa. They expect to be at least in the top eight, top six, and then challenging for top four, and then they're doing neither of that. But you got to give Gerrard a break. It was his first season, blah blah blah. But you know, it wasn't even a full season, was it? So, a bit like Arteta, you got to give the guy time. I think Stevie G has got what it takes to be a top manager. I just think you got to give the guy time. You know, people don't get no time nowadays. And if Arteta does get Arsenal third, people will be eating humble pie, won't they? Saying, oh, we can't get it, you know. And I ain't finished with the cup yet either. I think Gerard's in serious trouble, but it wouldn't surprise me if um, Scott Parker got sacked or someone like that. Especially if they get off to an atrocious start, which I fully expect them to, and Bournemouth. But maybe Bournemouth have accepted their fate more than Fulham. So I think Scotty Parker could be in a bit of danger. But the most high profile manager in danger for me is Thomas Tuchel. He's a great cut manager. He's probably the best cut manager in the league. He didn't win many domestically. Champions League and World Super Cup, whatever, World Club Championship, whatever that bollocks is. Whatever, it's not bollocks, but it's just a pointless match, isn't it, really? But anyway, he needs to pull his finger out. Next final he gets it, he needs to win it in England. Doesn't matter the opposition. Anyway, who to go down Bournemouth, Fulham and Leeds. Forest against that. Surprise package of the season, Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest. I think Forest to go under Steve Cooper, I just think they'll do alright. They might, I'm not saying they're going to finish in the top 8 or anything. I just think a comfortable mid-table, maybe just below position. That'll do them. 12th. Why not? Why not? Cities, Nottingham Forest, former European Cup winners, mate. They've got serious heritage and history at that club, mate. I remember Brian Clough, madman. It's great to see him back. It really is. It's been a hiatus. It's like when Leeds come back up. It's great to see them come back, but Forest is a little bit more special, just because of the history of and the characters that have been there. I think I might have covered all bases. Like I said, as for Arsenal, we need Gakpo. For me, I want to see Gakpo and I want to see a midfield enforcer before any Tillemans. But if it is only Tillemans, then it's Tillemans. But this Cody Gakpo, for me, he's 23. He's not a kid. He's young, but damn, does this boy have potential. And him, Jesus, and Saka, that's a scary front line with Odegaard behind them, Vieira behind them. I just Emil Smith Rowe as well. People forget about ESR. I just think Arsenal are building a very, very talented squad. And I believe Arteta has been given the funds and he's been given the time. There's only so long that it will run out eventually, and if he doesn't deliver, he will get sacked. But it depends how well Arsenal do this season. If we finish third, Champions League winners. I think for Bayern. I think they've signed some really good players. Mane, De Ligt at the back, and a few others. They look really strong. They might have lost Lewandowski, but Sadio Mane's a great replacement. And De Ligt's a world-class centre-back. So I just think, and they signed a few others as well. I just think they've got a really, 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 really good team. And they will be, apart from Liverpool, who seem to be the only team that can win the Champions League from England, consistently get to finals. Will it be Seizure? Will it be Seizure? With Haaland, by that time maybe well embedded, with Julian Alvarez. I don't know if they play together, If they need a goal, they might. But I think Haaland's goals will be vital in the Champions League, and he will get them to the latter stages. PSG as well. I saw all their big boys firing. Messi scored a brilliant goal. Neymar. They scored some beautiful goals. I think it's Nantes, was that the other day? I think in their community shields type thing. They looked really good, but it's PSG in it. But PSG are always a threat. I think there's 4 teams that can win the Champions League. 5 teams. You can't count Real Madrid out as holders. For me, the favourites are Bayern. Then I would say Liverpool, City, PSG. They're the five strongest teams in the Champions League. Yep. So yeah, oh yeah, and the Europa League and the World Cup. Of course, I'm going to say Arsenal, aren't I? Of course. It was almost an Arsenal Manchester United final a few years ago, and we couldn't beat bloody Villarreal, who my Emery does. But he Emery'd United in the final as well in that mad penalty shootout. So it is what it is, isn't it? This isn't an right Emery in Europe this season. I don't think there is anyway. I hope not. It depends who comes out of the Champions League early as well. That for me, the way Arsenal dismantled Sevilla. I know they're a week or two behind in their training, but this is the team with the best defence in La Liga last season, and we put 6 past them for 4 in 20 minutes. Like, mate, we just blew them away. And I just think, if Arsenal were playing good football at that stage of the season, whoever we're drawn against, we can beat them. We can beat them. I'm sure Manchester United feel similar. Do you think Arsenal and Manchester United squads are similarly matched? Because I don't. I think we have a better defence. We have a better goalkeeper distribution-wise with his feet. De Gea's probably he is a better shot stopper. If Ramsdale can get up to that level with his distribution, he'd be one of the best in the world. United need signings. Simple as that. I hope they don't get Frankie de Jong, but I think they might. Who knows? I don't know who's going to win the Europa League. I've got to be honest. The reason I say that is because I don't know who's coming out of the Champions League, and it's an awkward one. I'll tell you after Christmas. After Christmas, I'll give you my prediction. But Arsenal to obviously qualify, Manchester United to obviously qualify for the knockout rounds. And we'll see who is in the draw in the hat with us from the Champions League, and I'll tell you whether I think we've got a realistic chance of winning that. I do think we have got a good chance of winning that, and again, it's a route to the Champions League. Now, if Arsenal were to fall out of the top 4, not get in the top 4, it's a way to get in the Champions League. I'm sure Manchester United are thinking exactly that. Because it's just Manchester United is just not going to be good enough this season, in my opinion, to get in the Champions League. I just don't think they got enough quality. Not when you look at City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs. I say Chelsea, but they're just full of wingers. And Brozier. Strange Chinese team, Chelsea. Anyway, this has been it. No one's come in to comment. No one's come in live. I shall see you next time. Hopefully, it was a short, I'll be ready in 20 minutes. Next time I'll do it a couple of days in advance. But hit that subscribe button. If you want to hit the like button, hit the like button. It doesn't really matter at this point. I know once you hit over 2,000 likes, your algorithm goes up. But I just want subscribers for the channel. I'm looking at new devices to take to the football, what will be best, and that. So, and I'm looking at tickets, I'm looking at matches already. So, yes, it's been hot. Yes, I'm having a shower. Smelly old scrote I am. So, from a sweltering hot UK